Chapter 31. Unavoidable Enemies. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Aristofaniso editor. Karen_, yes, it really is a coincidence, the young man said with a terrible expression, gripping his fists tightly. Brother Chin, who is this kid? What happened? Asked one of the young men by the side. The group of young men watched in confusion, unsure what to make of the situation. He's just a reckless idiot, the man with the sports car said with a cold glare. He. Chu Xian looked over with a placid smile and asked mockingly, is your car done with its repairs? Are you King asking to die? The young man burst out. He'd been pushed past his limit, so he swung his fists and punched at Chu Xian's face. Chu Xian saw his fist flying over and excitement flashed in his eyes. Now that his body had been upgraded, he didn't have anything to fear and was just excited to see how strong he really was. Chu Xian moved and easily dodged the attack. Extending his arm, he threw a fast punch at the young man's chest. Pang! One, without using his full strength, his single punch still sent the young man reeling, clutching his chest with a pained face. F***K, you're F*** King courting death. How dare you attack our brother? With a delayed reaction, the young men by the side rushed forward angrily in defense. Hein! Chu Xian snorted coldly and fearlessly stepped forward to meet their strikes. His clear gaze took in all their movements, and swinging both fists rapidly, smashed all the attacks coming his way head-on. Ah! F***K, it hurts. F***K him up. Young man who'd punched Chu Xian's fist cried out in pain, gripping his hand while screaming, cold sweat appearing on his forehead. Chu Xian took a couple steps back, shaking his numbed hands. Although his body had toughened up and the strikes weren't too painful, his fists were still made of normal flesh and blood. F***K him up, the sports car young man yelled, glaring at Chu Xian. F***K him. Let's attack together. The young men all swung their fists and attacked once again. Like them, Chu Xian also had no fighting experience, but his reactions were fast and his movements were strong. Facing an entire group of young men, he wasn't unfairly matched. Even though he was hit a couple of times, he shrugged the blows off easily, and every one of his punches made the other men cry out in pain. In the end, the mob wasn't able to overcome him, and Chu Xian also didn't dare to continue fighting against so many by himself, so soon the two parties pulled apart. Chu Xian rubbed his fists, extremely satisfied with his fighting abilities. If this had happened 2 days earlier, he would probably be lying on the floor right now. Come at me, scum. I dared to smash your car because I'm not afraid of you. Come at me. Chu Xian gestured arrogantly at the sports car owner, mocking him. The young man glared at him with a black face, but when he saw the bloodied nose and swollen faces of his companions, he said furiously, Kid, just you wait. This isn't over. You think I'm scared? Trash. Chu Xian pointed at him and said disdainfully, if you're too scared to fight then I'm leaving. I'll look forward to our next meeting. Chu Xian turned away with a sneer, and straightening his clothes, returned to his car. Brother Chin. One of the sidekicks looked at the furious sports car young man and called out in low voice. F***K. The sports car man ground his teeth in anger, and he looked on with an ugly expression as the expensive Land Rover left. Brother Chin, who is he? The sidekick asked. Him. The sports car young man said with a gloomy face, he's the guy who smashed my car. His sidekick's face changed color several times, and he turned towards the disappearing Land Rover. He carefully asked, Chin brother, what's his background? Where does he get the courage to do something like that? The sports car man angrily rubbed his mouth. Spitting on the ground, he said, I don't care who he is. I'm not letting this go. After these words, the young man turned towards Zhao Kuazi's fish farm and stalked over and went inside. The several young men behind him were stunned but still followed him in. Zhao Kuazi had heard the fight from inside the fish farm when it started, but after seeing that Qin Dahai's son, Qin Jiyu, was involved, he immediately retreated. Everyone who owned fish farms in the FT zone knew you couldn't anger the Qin family. This wasn't because they were rich or powerful, but because they had the ruthless Qin Dahai. When Qin Dahai was young, he was just a fisherman from another city, but then he started renting fish farms and made some money raising fish. When the Feng Tai Lake was auctioned off, many rich people flooded in from other cities. Qin Dahai also wanted a slice of the pie and prepared to lease a portion of the lake, but just as he was about to claim his prize, an outsider came and stole it away. The furious Qin Dahai took up a slaughtering fish knife and attacked the other man, seriously injuring him. Qin Dahai spent a year in prison but came back and brought several ruthless helpers with him. Everyone on the Feng Tai fish farms knew the story, and no one dared to cross him. Soon, Qin Dahai used his methods to take over a portion of Feng Tai Lake and continued farming fish. In the span of a decade, every time Feng Tai Lake's zones were auctioned, Qin Dahai used any methods necessary to get the largest fish farm, which was usually equal in size to the fish farms by the sea. Qin Jiyu was also a rotten egg. He had inherited his father's arrogance and used his father's reputation to gather a group of delinquents to scare and intimidate people. "Yo, Zhao Kuazi!" Qin Jiyu yelled when he saw Zhao Kuazi in front of him. "Just now a kid left your place, who is he?" "Ah, Qin Jiyu, I don't know who this young man is, he just came today to buy my fish farm." Zhao Kuazi answered with a smile. "To buy your fish farm?" Qin Jiyu's eyes flashed. "You sold your fish farm to him?" "Yes, yes. He will come here this afternoon. Tomorrow, this place will belong to him." Zhao Kuazi nodded. "He's coming back in the afternoon." "Very good." Qin Jiyu said with a vicious expression. "Anywhere else, maybe I couldn't touch you, but in my territory. Just you wait. I'll show you the consequences of messing with me." Chu Xian had no idea of the trouble in store for him while he calmly drove to the bank. Zhao Kuazi wanted cash, and Chu Xian also needed to print a copy of his ID card. After finishing with his errands, Chu Xian stopped for lunch before returning to Zhao Kuazi's farm. Translator's Thoughts Aristofaniso, 1. So it's like a pow, which is also sometimes a bang. This happened in earlier chapters with the exploding Samsung phone. Chapter 32. Xiao Ying's Class Party. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Translator. Aristofaniso Editor. Karen _in the afternoon, Chu Xian and Zhao Kuazi finalized the transfer of ownership documents. After he finally had the papers in hand, Chu Xian couldn't help but feel some excitement. Aside from his car, this was his first real asset, and in many ways, this marked the start of his new life. When Zhao Kuazi left the farm for the last time, our hero also left and walked back to his Land Rover. However, when he approached his car, his face took on a darkened expression. The front of the car was smashed, the windshield was webbed with cracks, and all 4 tires were slashed. "Damn!" Chu Xian shouted, kicking at his car in futile anger. He helplessly called up his insurance company and was grateful that he'd gotten his insurance figured out when he bought the car. For now, all the damage would be covered. It's that F***INGA*** hole from this morning. F***. Just wait until the next time we meet. Chu Xian cursed and tried to calm himself down. All he could do was wait for the insurance agent to arrive. His good mood was ruined. Even after the insurance agent arrived, he still had to spend hours dealing with everything. When it was all finally over, Chu Xian returned to his small shop in a terrible mood. Chu Xian forced himself to think of something else while he lay down on his mat. He started thinking about the future. I'll go rent a house tomorrow. Chu Xian thought to himself. Suddenly, Chu Xian's phone rang. When he saw who the caller was, he suddenly remembered what he promised. Picking up the phone, he said, "Hey babe, what's up? What do you think? I just got back to the dorm. Do you still remember what we're doing tomorrow?" Xiao Ying's voice filled Chu Xian's head and his irritation faded away. He answered quickly, "Of course I remember. I always keep your words close to my heart. Aren't we going to your party tomorrow? When is it?" He, at least you have a good memory." Xiao Ying said coyly, smiling happily to herself at his sweet words. "Come pick me up at the dorm at 9 a.m. The party will start at noon." "So early?" Chu Xian replied with some astonishment. "Aren't we just going out for some food and then some karaoke?" "Nope. We're going to some holiday resort or something. Anyway, just come early. Don't make me wait for you." "Huh, don't worry babe. I haven't seen you for a week, I'll definitely get there super early." Chu Xian promised. Don't be too early." After talking with Xiao Ying for another half hour, Chu Xian ended the call with some hesitation. Then he suddenly realized he had a terrible problem. F*******. My Land Rover is being fixed, I can't show it off. Chu Xian couldn't help but feel disappointed, and it showed on his face. One of the reasons he'd gotten a fancy car was to show off for Xiao Ying's classmates and to prove once and for all that Xiao Ying made the right choice. Now that his plan was ruined, he became irritable again. "Whatever. I'll just show them next time. Next time I'll buy a car, park it right in front of her dorm and make a grand show of giving it to her. Haha. They'll all marvel at my big D." Chu Xian kept fantasizing. After all, he was just a normal, earthly man, he just wanted to show off that he'd earned some money. He wanted people who had scoffed at him to praise him, and he especially wanted to prove himself to Xiao Ying's classmates. Even Xiao Ying's best friend tried to convince her to break up with him in the past. The feeling of having everyone against you was awful. The next morning, Chu Xian headed over to Hai Chin Standard and reached the school gate in about 10 or so minutes. Holding a classic Chinese breakfast of steamed buns, soy milk, and some eggs, Chu Xian stopped in front of the staircase to the girls' dorm. It was around 8:30. He called Xiao Ying. A couple moments later, a messy haired and bare-faced Xiao Ying came running down the stairs. To Chu Xian, her shy and unprepared look was unbearably cute. Covering her face with some embarrassment, Xiao Ying asked shyly, "Why are you here so early?" He. "I missed you." Chu Xian chuckled. "I thought you probably hadn't eaten yet, so I bought some food on the way. Take it. I'll wait for you down here." Xiao Ying's heart warmed at this familiar scene. He'd said these words for what seemed like every day for 2 years. Give me a second. I'll be down really quick," she said. After giving him a peck on the cheek, she ran upstairs cheerfully. Chu Xian smiled and touched the spot where she'd kissed him. He sat down on one of the stone chairs nearby and waited. "Sisters. Breakfast." Xiao Ying yelled happily as she burst into the dorm room with the big bag of steamed buns and eggs. "TSK. I think I hear the yell of a mating sow," one of the girls joked while putting on her makeup. "You see, who are you talking about? Do you want to get beat up?" Xiao Ying said with a pout. Her smile returned in a flash, and she shouted again, "I'm starving. Come grab some food first. Finish your makeup later." "Was it your romantic boy downstairs bringing you breakfast again?" another girl said, coming out of the restroom. You sold yourself for these steamed buns." "What are you saying, Jingwen? What do you mean I sold myself? You don't have to eat if you don't want to." Xiao Ying replied unhappily. Okay. I'm sorry, I misspoke. You silly girl, it's not like you'll listen to what we say anyway. You'll come to understand in the future." Jingwen said, with a knowing shake of her head. She finally walked over to take a bun. I heard there'll be a lot of handsome guys at the resort today. Woo-woo, my god. This really is a graduation present. I hope I meet someone handsome, one of the girls said in an exaggerated tone, grabbing an egg with one hand and finishing her makeup with the other. Yeah. I heard that underclassman Bei Feng is also coming. Wow. He's so young and rich, and I heard he drives a 500,000 renminbi BMW to school. How nice it would be if I could sit in that car. Don't be so starstruck, Lu Ji is also very handsome. I heard that after he graduated, he got a position in his family company. Ah. I'm so jealous. If only he looked my way. Okay. Stop dreaming about boys. Eat quickly and let's go. Xiaoying said, trying to cut through the chit-chat. She looked at her roommates with a somewhat helpless gaze. So you don't want your lover waiting downstairs all by himself? Humph. I heard we're going to some fancy place today, I wonder where it is. I'm so excited. I heard it's the new resort. They're having a promotional event right now, and Lu Ji and Bei Feng both paid more than 10,000 RMB. Did you think that 300 would have been enough? The group of girls chattered and gossiped, and Xiaoying could only smile helplessly from the side. After finishing her bun and getting ready, she said, hurry up. I'm heading down first. Don't make us wait forever. In such a hurry to meet your man. Go. TSK, betraying your sisters for a guy. Xiaoying laughed lightly and left the dorm. Chapter 33. Always forced. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Aristofaniso editor. Karen why are you alone? Chu Xian asked with a light smile as he watched Xiaoying come down the stairs. Those three smug beauties still need 10 more minutes for their makeup, Xiaoying said with a smile. She walked over and sat next to him. How could they compare to my beautiful Xiaoying who's amazing even without makeup? Chu Xian said, hugging her shoulders. Xiaoying laughed lightly and leaned against him. After 10 or so minutes, the three pretty girls came out of the dorm holding onto each other. One of them wore high heels. Finally. We're going to be late. Xiaoying said with some dissatisfaction. Isn't your man enough for you? Why do you need us? Jingwen said with a glance at Chu Xian. Let's go. Let's go. Xiaoying giggled and stood up, leaning on Chu Xian's arm for support. The group walked over to the classroom that had been designated as their meetup location. When they arrived, there was already a dozen or so people there. The boy-to-girl ratio was about 50/50. Looks like some of the single boys from other grades are here as well. Are they here for a last-ditch college romance? Siyu said excitedly as she looked at all the boys in the classroom. Xiaoying looked at her speechlessly before dragging Chu Xian to a seat off to the side. Their arrival drew attention. The quality of the girls in Xiaoying's dorm was pretty high, and regarding Xiaoying herself, well, she was the goddess of the entire college. Xiaoying's classmates weren't surprised when they saw their goddess holding another man's arm. Everyone had known about their relationship for 4 to 5 years by this point. It was the underclassmen who looked over curiously. They all heard that goddess Zhang Tianing, Xiaoying's full name, too, had a boyfriend, but none of them had actually seen him. The ones who thought themselves handsome still had some fantasies about Xiaoying. Is that Xiaoying's boyfriend? He seems pretty normal, not handsome like me. F*******. You're funny and pretty shameless too. He's much more handsome than you, but compared to me, he's a bit lacking. You're all idiots. I heard Xiaoying and her boyfriend have been together for almost 5 years, and in that time, many rich and handsome men chased her. She refused all of them. Brothers, you should just give up. Our goddess is very committed, and in these past few years, she turned down at least 5 rich kids who drove over in their fancy cars to confess. The boys sat together and gossiped in low voices, sighing with some disappointment. On the other side of the room, Xiaoying leaned on a desk, examining Chu Xian. Suddenly she burst out, Xiao Xian, CX nickname, you seem a lot buffer. He, I've been working out these days and now, I'm a man with a 6-pack. Come, feel. Chu Xian laughed and took her hand. Xiaoying squeezed with some strength and with an astonished look, said, it's true. Of course. Chu Xian chuckled proudly and said shamelessly, tonight, you can examine them more closely. Stop it. Xiaoying covered her blushing face. Chu Xian couldn't resist reaching over and tousling her hair. Lu Ji's here, one of the girls said loudly. Right as these words came out, 2 boys walked into the classroom. One of them had blonde hair, and the other wore glasses. The bespectacled man was the organizer of this event, Lu Ji, and the other man was Zhang Beifeng. Lu Ji took a position in front of the group and asked, is everyone here? His eyes swept over everyone and lingered for a moment on Xiaoying and Chu Xian. All here, 33 people. The same girl nodded in reply. Okay, since we're all here, let's go, Lu Ji said with a nod, leading the group out. Beifeng stood by the side, and from time to time, he couldn't help glancing over at Xiaoying with enamored and jealous eyes. Lu Ji led the group to 2 cars parked in front of the classroom and turned around to say, we're going to the new resort in JS District, the Gold Dragon Holiday Resort. We'll get a couple of taxis. You can decide amongst yourselves who shares with whom. My car can bring 3 people. Jingwen, Siyu, Shang, I can take you. Wow. Lu Ji, you bought a car. Is that Audi A6 yours? Jingwen asked happily. What a man. You can drive a 500,000 plus RMB car right after graduating, I'm so jealous. Lu Ji. I regret not chasing you. Is it too late to start now? Some of the girls in the back burst out in astonishment, looking at Lu Ji with jealousy. Lu Ji's eyes lit up with pride as he replied, yeah. My family wouldn't buy me a car until I graduated. Let's go. I can drive a couple people and Beifeng can also drive a few. We'll meet at the gate of Gold Dragon Holiday Resort. Okay. Beifeng nodded and looked at Xiaoying, saying. Xiaoying, you and your boyfriend can ride with me. Wan Kun can come too. Xiaoying, who was exchanging whispers with Chu Xian by the side, was surprised by Beifeng's invitation. She raised her head to check with Chu Xian. It's good that someone's willing to take us. Let's go. Chu Xian said indifferently. Xiaoying nodded and hugged his arm as they walked to Zhang Beifeng's BMW. Beifeng watched them get into his car and smiled coldly. He sat in the driver's seat, and the other boy named Wan Kun sat beside him. After he took a seat inside, Chu Xian shifted around trying to get comfortable. He couldn't help but feel that the space was too narrow and that it couldn't compare at all with his Land Rover. Beifeng watched them through his rearview mirror. When he saw Chu Xian shifting around, he sneered disdainfully. He started the car and headed out of school. As they drove, Xiaoying leaned against Chu Xian and they talked in quietly. Zhang Beifeng ground his teeth and he turned to the side to look at Wan Kun. Wan Kun nodded and said, Xiaoying, can you two not get so intimate in front of us? You're making us single dogs feel bad. Our school has so many girls. Why don't you find yourself a girlfriend? Xiaoying said with a laugh and stuck her tongue out. There are many, but what about the quality? Never mind, if I talk about this anymore I'll cry. Senior, I'm so jealous. You captured our goddess's heart. Wan Kun said. With curiosity, he asked, that's right, Senior, what are you up to now? Can you give some pointers to a fresh-faced grad? Bei Feng smiled. Hee, I can't give you any advice. I just own a small ornamental fish shop and sell some fish. Chu Xian laughed lightly. Before, he was ashamed of telling people what he did for a living, but now he was able to brag. He could say, I don't do much, just sell some fish. I don't earn too much, just 10,000 or so a day. Actually, 2 days ago I had a big deal and made 4 million RMB. But Chu Xian didn't say this. Even though he did like to show off and be admired, he'd never go out of his way to do so. He was always forced to show his hand. Translator's thoughts Aristofaniso *1. So I'm trying to reduce my commentary, just because people are probably here for the novel not for my BS. Anyway, this will be an exception as a PSA for our brothers. It doesn't matter what you actually think about makeup. You should probably keep it to yourself. 2. Her name is Goddess Zhang Tian in Kappa. Doki Doki. Chapter 34. Sky.High Snobbery. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Aristofaniso editor. Karen_O. Working for yourself. That's pretty cool, Wan Kun said while feigning surprise. Glancing back at him, he said, Senior brother, you're getting along pretty well. Have you bought a car and house yet? I bought a car, Chu Xian said with a smile. Ah. Then why isn't senior brother driving? What car did you get? Is it as good as Bei Feng's BMW? This Series 5 BMW cost more than 500,000. I don't know when I'll be able to afford one. Wan Kun said with a sigh. Hee, it was only 500,000. Wan Kun, if you work hard, you'll be able to afford one in no time, Zhang Bei Feng interjected. Senior brother, you're a boss now. Your car must be pretty good. Hee, it's okay. Chu Xian said with a small nod. You're getting more and more shameless. You talk about a moped as if it were a luxury car. Xiaoying whispered into Chu Xian's ear and pinched him. Chu Xian winked at her, saying, I'm not bragging, I'll take you for a ride tomorrow. Bei Feng glanced disdainfully at Chu Xian's reflection in the rearview mirror. He didn't realize Chu Xian was so thick-skinned and shameless. He hadn't heard what Xiaoying said, but Chu Xian's whisper was loud and clear. Wan Kun looked over at Zhang Bei Feng with an expression that said, This C*** is so good at pretending that it's even hard to mock him. Bei Feng wiggled with his eyes and Wan Kun could only continue gritting his teeth. With a small nod, he said, Senior brother. I heard from some of my classmates that you're not doing so well. What's up? You didn't get into Golden Dragon Group when you applied, and now your business isn't doing so well. Are they BS.ing? Chu Xian was surprised for a moment by Wan Kun's straightforwardness, but quickly a meaningful smile appeared on his face. He replied, I wasn't doing so well before, but lately I've made a bit of a comeback. Zhang Bei Feng laughed and said with mocking sincerity, then senior brother needs to work harder. If senior sister Xiaoying is going to be a teacher at the school, you'll need a house in Haiqing, and they cost at least 1 million. That's no problem, we can just rent or take a loan. Xiaoying said, taking Chu Xian's hand in her own. Her words warmed Chu Xian's heart. You can't talk like that. You'll need a house when you marry, and you'll need a car too. If you have kids, the pressure will be even higher. Xiaoying, if you don't start thinking about all this now, you'll regret it later. And even if you don't think it's a problem, your family will. Wan Kun said to her. Xiaoying frowned silently. I'm so jealous of brother Bei Feng. He's so young but he already has a nice car, and he'll inherit his family business. He'll be spared a decade of struggle. Wan Kun continued. That's nothing. You don't need to be jealous brother Wan Kun, if you want, you can come work at my family's company. I can guarantee a higher salary than anything you'll find elsewhere. We'll be brothers even after we graduate. Zhang Beifeng said to Wan Kuan. Really? That's amazing. Wan Kuan said excitedly. I heard your family's company is worth more than 10 million, and the number is growing every day. It's not bad. The market value is about 30 million, and the prospects are great. It's a time for rapid development. Oh, right, senior brother, if you want, you can also come work for my family's company. 6 to 7,000 a month isn't a problem, and the salary can only grow in the future when the company benefits get better. We're schoolmates, there's a lot of room for you to rise in the company. Zhang Beifeng said with a turn of his head, smiling at Chu Xian. His expression of attentiveness and kindness really seemed likable. Xiaoying seemed slightly moved as she turned to look at Chu Xian. Not bad. Chu Xian was impressed with their performance and suddenly understood how deep the tricks and schemes of city men were. If he didn't have experience from reading about showing off and face-slapping plots in novels, he might even feel grateful to Zhang Beifeng for the job offer. Out of nowhere, Wan Kuan humbled himself while propping up Zhang Beifeng, setting a vivid comparison and hinting at the large gap between Beifeng and Chu Xian in front of Xiaoying. Then Zhang Beifeng pretended to reach out a caring hand like a king giving food to a beggar. This not only showed his warm heart but also propped him up even higher. This scheme was really complex and detailed. Not bad, not bad. Chu Xian looked at Xiaoying. He smiled lightly and said, we'll talk about this in the future, these days my business is pretty good. Hehe, that's fine. I'll give you my number later, and you can call me when you need me. You're welcome in my family's company anytime, Zhang Beifeng said. He examined Chu Xian's acting and mockingly applauded in his heart. Chu Xian replied calmly with a hint of disdain on his lips. Chu Xian didn't say anything else. Wan Kuan changed the topic and started chatting with Beifeng again. All they talked about were fancy cars and luxury items while glancing at the back from time to time. Xiaoying leaned on Chu Xian and said in a small voice, we'll take on the world together once I start working. Leave the fighting to me, Chu Xian said confidently, looking calmly at Beifeng and Wan Kuan. The car quickly arrived at the resort parking lot. The group got out and waited patiently for the others to arrive. Lu Ji and Jing Wen's, XY's roommate, group arrived shortly after. You can all wait here for the others, I'll go get our tickets first. Lu Ji said as he approached them. Lu Ji, I'll go with you. Jing Wen immediately piped up and followed Lu Ji to the service area by the entrance. By the time they got their tickets, everyone had arrived. Lu Ji addressed the group and shouted, okay, line up and we'll enter in sequence. The line of people walked through the ticket area and into the building. Beifeng led the way, gestured to the big, welcome, and said, everyone, see this. Aren't the goldfish and koi fish very beautiful? Wow! The goldfish are so pretty. Displaying the fish like this is brilliant. It's so pretty. The group of people gathered around. Yes, and these fish aren't just ordinary fish. Do you know how much they're worth? Zhang Beifeng paused dramatically. 4 million. These few fish are worth 4 million. 4 million. Unbelievable. Heavens, how luxurious. Translator's Thoughts Aristofaniso, 1. Lit. Haha. Chapter 35. Perfect Body. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 35. Perfect Body. Translator. Aristofaniso. Editor. Karen _ the classmates shouted one after another. They all stared at the koi and goldfish with astonishment. Haha. This is Golden Dragon Group's resort. You all know Golden Dragon Group, it's one of the best private companies in the city. The whole resort is extremely fancy. Since they just opened, everything is 50% off. Normally, if you want to get a day pass you'll need at least 1,000 RMB, and it'll be even more expensive if you want to stay overnight. These expensive ornamental fish cost President Jean a lot of time and energy. They're all in demand, there's no supply left. Zhang Beifeng explained. Ha! These little goldfish are kind of familiar. I think I saw some on the internet. Apparently they're all a couple thousand each, a girl said with wonder. Yes. Each goldfish costs 2,000 RMB. Incredibly luxurious. Ordinary people can never afford them. Zhang Beifeng said with a nod, then glanced over at Chu Xian. Senior, you have an ornamental fish shop. You know the value of these fish, right? Chu Xian's face was covered with a big smile, and he really wanted to burst out laughing at Beifeng's pretentious explanation. In reply to the question, he smiled, nodded, and said, "You're absolutely right. All these goldfish are extremely rare, and each is worth at least 2,000. The two koi in the middle are even more impressive, Lion Queen and Shishir varieties. Each are worth around 2 million. They're very hard to find on the market." Heh, Senior knows a lot about ornamental fish, but when will you be able to sell fish like these? Then you can sell them to us at a discount. Zhang Beifeng said half-jokingly. Haha. The other boys laughed and some of the girls smiled to themselves as well. They glanced at Chu Xian with disdain. Let's go. We're not here just to sightsee, we're here to have fun. You can drink, fish, play some beach volleyball. All the fruit and drinks are complimentary. None of you forgot your swimming suit, right? Lu Ji exclaimed. Oh. I brought mine. Let's go change right now. I've only seen this type of place on TV, this is all so exciting, one of the girls said happily. Let's really relax and have some fun today. The classmates chattered happily as they walked. Xiao Xian, CX, I forgot to remind you to bring a swimming suit. Xiao Ying said apologetically. Heh, it's fine. I'll just buy one here. Xiao Ying, you'll have to show me what your swimming suit looks like. Chu Xian replied nonchalantly and wiggled his eyebrows. Stop. I won't let you look. Xiao Ying said before running over to her roommates. Chu Xian smiled and followed. Okay. Everyone, do what you want. The change rooms are over there, and you can ask the resort staff if you have any problems, Lu Ji instructed them confidently, then headed over to the change rooms with Beifeng and some others. I'll go change first. I'll wait for you over here. Chu Xian said to Xiao Ying, then followed the others. N. Xiao Ying replied with a nod and went into the other changing room with Jing Wen. There were two types of change rooms in the resort. An ordinary and a VIP section. The first had a shower room, a personal change room for each guest, and was already quite fancy. The VIP section was very different. Each section had a personal room that even had a bed to rest on with all kinds of complimentary fruits and food. There was even a complimentary swimming suit. Of course, the VIP section was much more expensive. Regardless, the process of entering the rooms was seamless for guests with membership cards. Chu Xian took out his shiny diamond card and swiped it in the card reader. The change room door opened automatically. This membership card is pretty useful. Chu Xian thought to himself. During the opening ceremony, he picked up the card and loaded it with 10,000 RMB. Even though he only loaded it with 10,000, his card had still been upgraded to Diamond VIP status by Jin Sen, while ordinary people had to pay 100,000 to reach the same status. Damn, this place is pretty good. Chu Xian said with admiration. It was impressive, but it was also very expensive. It costed 200 RMB just to open the door. Chu Xian stripped down and put on the complimentary swimming trunks. F*******, I'm so handsome. Chu Xian thought as he looked at himself in the mirror. He had strong pecs and distinct abs. All in all, he gave an impression of tremendous strength. I wonder how Xiaoying will react when she sees me. Chu Xian laughed to himself and left the room with high hopes. Chu Xian entered the waiting area to see that no one else had come out yet. The girls definitely needed at least 10 minutes, and the boys were all probably messing around and wasting time. He sat down and ordered a drink. Their business seems pretty good, Chu Xian said while looking around. Today was only the third day of opening, yet there were at least 400 or 500 people around. Their business could only get better. Girls wearing bikinis with long, milky white legs and perky butts sashayed around. Senior. I didn't see you inside. You came out so quickly. Zhang Beifeng shouted over with a grin. The group of boys finally arrived. I left as soon as I changed. Chu Xian said politely. He stood up and turned around. F*******. What sexy muscles. One of the boys yelled as he saw Chu Xian's abs. The other boys couldn't help but compare Chu Xian's body with their own, and they all smiled bitterly. These junk food eating students couldn't compare to him at all. They all felt ashamed as they huddled in their little group. Zhang Beifeng and Lu Ji especially had twitching mouths. Just with this body, Chu Xian was already the center of attention for all the surrounding girls. Now I understand why Goddess Xiaoying chose you. You have such good physique, the same boy exclaimed. Chu Xian smiled and said, just exercise more. Everyone can have this body. Chapter 36. Streamer, you are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 36. Streamer translator. Aristofaniso editor. Karen_Lu Ji's group wasn't too happy about Chu Xian's perfect body. A couple of the boys were already secretly planning to exercise more to win some goddesses over. About 5 minutes later, the girls came out, one after the other. The group of boys all stared. Each girl had a unique physique. They stared with shining eyes, sneaking glances at the girls' chests. Chu Xian noticed some of the boys popped out a little down there. F*******. As the boys checked out the girls were even bolder about checking out the boys. Wow! Xiaoying, your lover has such a great body. Jing Wen said with surprise, comparing Lu Ji, Beifeng and Chu Xian. Xiaoying stared with wide eyes as if she had never seen him before. Her eyes were glued to his body, and she couldn't look away. Now I finally know why Xiaoying has been going out with him all these years. Now I know all she cares about is physical pleasure. I'm so jealous. Siu said as she too stared at Chu Xian. She spoke earnestly and sincerely. What are you saying? Xiaoying exclaimed, turning to glare at her two friends. When she looked over and realized all the girls were sneaking glances at Chu Xian, she immediately walked over to him. Chu Xian watched Xiaoying walk over with a smile on his face. She wore a pink one-piece that was a little conservative but still couldn't hide her pale body, or her nice slim waist and beautiful legs, and definitely not the two high mountain peaks that he already fervently explored every inch of. Her glossy black hair hung loose, draped over her back. What a goddess! Who knew that working out for 10 days could change your body so much? Xiaoying whispered after walking over and grabbing his arm. Ah, I had no other option. Chu Xian said with mock sorrow. I'm not good at anything, so I can only please my queen with my body and hope she will love me forever. Hee. What a silver tongue you have. Xiaoying laughed. From now on, this queen chooses only you and you alone. Ha. Chu Xian laughed and kissed her. At this sight, all the boys could only turn away with twitching mouths. 1. Lu Ji clapped to get the group's attention and said, okay everyone, go do what you want. The guys are going to swim in the sea. Are you all coming? Sure. The girls nodded and Chu Xian walked over while holding hands with Xiaoying. The water wasn't deep, and the whole area was enclosed by nets just in case. Chu Xian grew up in the countryside and was a seasoned hand at swimming. After he gained the ability to transform into a fish, he felt an even greater affinity to water. Xiaoying didn't know how to swim, so of course Chu Xian had to teach her. He held her chest. Wait, that's not right. He held her torso and helped her along, one motion at a time. She was pretty much a log in the water, like a dying pig flailing. Xiaoying thought her face would burn off from embarrassment. Nevertheless, the couple had fun, and the other boys and girls splashed each other and played around as well. Some of the boys still glanced over with jealousy from time to time, and Zhang Beifeng especially gritted his teeth in frustration. He still had romantic feelings for Xiaoying. After playing around for half an hour, the group came out of the water and headed to the resting area. Chu Xian brought some fruit over for Xiaoying to enjoy. With the woman he loved leaning against him, he looked up at the blue sky with the beach extending into the distance. He felt happy. Chu Xian thought to himself. When I have money, I'll buy a villa by the sea, facing the water. Hey beautiful, are you alone? How old are you? Suddenly, a little distance away from Chu Xian and Xiaoying, a handsome man walked over to a girl in a bikini and asked with a charming smile. Behind him were a couple other young men, and one of them was pointing a phone at them. The girl smiled back at the young man but looked over with some confusion at the other men behind him. What are they doing? Is he filming something? Heh, beautiful lady, let me introduce myself. I'm a handsome male streamer on Deep Sea TV. How about it? Don't you think I'm handsome? The young man asked as he sat down casually beside her. You're a streamer, the girl asked as she examined him. I watch streams, but I don't really watch anything on Deep Sea. Really? Then you need to check out Deep Sea one of these days. I'm one of the most popular streamers, too. If you look up my name, Beneath the Heavens, you can find me and follow me on Weibo. I'm the one with more than 200,000 followers. The Beneath the Heavens bro bragged as he flirted with her. Wow, really? Impressive. Of course. Beautiful girl, you may not know, but aside from streaming, I'm also good at fortune telling. Show me your palm and I'll tell your fortune, Beneath the Heavens said, taking the girl's hand and holding it with a serious expression. The girl complied, and when Beneath the Heavens saw this, he flirted with her even more as the young men behind him all grinned. These days, men were bold and women were open, even getting laid was commonplace, not to mention simple flirting. Chu Xian once watched a foreign streamer named Street Side Kiss Stealing Demon. Damn. Just his good-looking face could get him kisses from strangers. There are so many streamers nowadays. Xiaoying said with a glance at the crowd. They can make a lot of money. More than 10,000 a month is very easy for them, and extremely popular people can make even a couple 100,000 or a couple million. With phone streaming becoming more and more popular, pretty much anyone can be a streamer. Some of these people have no limits to the shameless things they do for views, Chu Xian explained. Still, that young man is so shameless. Xiaoying said with a smile. That's what gets him views. Chu Xian replied. This kind of outdoor streamer flirting with girls was a common trick. Beneath the Heaven flirted with the girl for a while then got up. Turning towards the young man holding the phone, he announced proudly, Brothers, how was that? I already got her WeChat number. Looks like I'm going to eat a feast tonight. Haha. Yo, Beneath the Heaven. Look. Let's go over there, there's some people we know, one of the young men by the side suddenly exclaimed. Beneath the Heaven looked over at the young man and nodded. Sure Brother Song, let's go. Everyone, follow Brother Song. I'll show you guys some girls a little later. Beifeng, you're here too. Brother Song walked over to Chu Xian's group. Ah. Brother Song. You're here. What a coincidence. Come, join us. Zhang Beifeng saw Brother Song and stood up to greet him warmly. He introduced him to Chu Xian and the rest. This is one of my brothers, Brother Song. His family owns a maritime shipping company. Translator's thoughts Aristofaniso, 1. So this should be pretty much like those cartoons when you see the tense muscle on the face when they're angry. Like an uncontrollable twitching of the face muscles. 2. I don't think English streams have an equivalent. Chapter 37. Collaboration. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 37. Collaboration. Translator. Aristofaniso editor. Karen_, hello, Brother Song. A couple of the boys greeted him politely. N. Song Bro nodded, looking over the group. He turned to Beifeng and asked curiously, are these your classmates? N. These are some of my upperclassmen. Today we came out together to play. Brother Song, since you and your friends are here too, let's all hang out together. The more the merrier. Beifeng said. Sure. Song Bro took in all the girls in the group, and he nodded. Brothers, check it out. This is Brother Song's friend. He's pretty handsome as well. Look, there are also a lot of pretty girls here. Apparently they're still students. Beneath the Heaven said to his phone as he sat down next to Song Bro. Ah, Brother Song. Your friend is a streamer. Zhang Beifeng said with some surprise. N. My bro is a famous streamer. Lots of people watch him, some tens of thousands. Song Bro replied with a chuckle, patting Streamer Bro on the shoulder. Heh. Impressive. Zhang Beifeng nodded. The girls all looked at Streamer Bro with curiosity. Let's check out these beauties. I'll make you guys happy. Streamer Bro said in his chat and turned to Song Bro, Brother Song, I'm not going to sit next to you, I want to go sit with the pretty girls. Then go. Song Bro smiled and mock punched him. Streamer Bro looked around and went to sit by one of the girls. Hey beautiful. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm 18, very handsome, young and rich, and still single. Streamer Bro extended his hand. Yeah, still single. So handsome too. Go get him, one of the manlier girls said from the side. Hey handsome, why don't you come over here? I don't have a boyfriend either. The girls from Normal University were all very bold, and Streamer Bro just looked so handsome. They joked around with each other with ease. Streamer Bro laughed happily and flirted with the girls. Streamer Bro's, Beneath the Heavens, character was shameless and straightforward, and the girls weren't shy either. They laughed and talked while Beifeng and the others watched from the side. This opportunity to see a streamer's work up close was pretty interesting. Okay brothers. Should we change it up a little? Let's switch to another girl, you guys tell me who I should pick. Streamer Bro said after his chat became unruly. He turned his camera to show them the surrounding girls. Oh. Sure, but brothers, this pretty girl already has a boyfriend. What do I do if I get beat up? Huh, you'll pay my hospital bills. Why are you all so nice? Shouldn't you give me the appointment fee first? Heh. Okay brothers, I'm going in. I'm much more handsome than her boyfriend, and I'll show you all how I flirt with her right in front of him. Streamer Bro whispered into his phone while glancing over at Xiaoying. Hey beautiful, do you mind if I sit here? Streamer Bro walked over to Xiaoying and sat down. I mind. Xiaoying retorted. Babe, I already sat down. You can't ask me to leave, that'd be too awkward. Streamer Bro paused a little before continuing. Yo handsome, our Xiaoying already has a boyfriend. You can't mess around with her. See, you interjected with a smile. Beauty, am I that kind of person? I'm just doing what my viewers want me to do, to let them get a close-up view of the goddess. Streamer Bro promised while placing a hand on his chest. Everyone laughed. It was hard to dislike this charming streamer. Hey, your boyfriend is obviously not as handsome as me, don't you think? Streamer Bro laughed while looking over at Chu Xian. I'm sorry. You should go find someone else. Xiao Ying replied with a small smile. She didn't dislike the streamer, but she also wasn't willing to cooperate with him for his stream. Don't be so cold. I'm an upstanding streamer. Hey handsome brother, you don't mind if I talk with your girlfriend, right? Streamer Bro turned to Chu Xian. I mind. Of course I mind. Go find someone else. Chu Xian said and hugged Xiao Ying's waist. Streamer Bro, beneath the heaven, just sat there awkwardly, unsure of what to say. Bro, don't be so uptight. We're all just playing, you don't need to be so worried. Song Bro cut in. Yeah, Bei Feng echoed, we're just messing around with our friends. Xiao Ying sis doesn't mind. Go find someone else. Chu Xian smiled but was firm in his decision. Bei Feng frowned at Chu Xian's words, and some of the others started to feel uncomfortable. Finally, Lu Ji joined in and said with a smile, Senior, I think you should let Xiao Ying answer for herself. Guys shouldn't be so domineering, you should respect her opinion. His opinion is my opinion. Xiao Ying said immediately. Lu Ji's face blackened, and he laughed with embarrassment. Humph. You're just a nobody, yet you're still so cocky. One of the girls muttered about Chu Xian, unhappy that he wasn't playing along. Although she spoke quietly, everyone still caught her words. Wang Fun. What did you say? Xiao Ying demanded, glaring angrily at her. The streamer Bro was still embarrassed. He never imagined that Chu Xian would really be so prudish and not give him any face. He read the comments in his chat and tried one last time. Extending his hand, he said, Beauty, since you're not willing to play, let's just shake hands and part ways. I've already been completely crushed, so surely my small request isn't too much. Xiao Ying hesitated a little and looked at Chu Xian. He smiled but didn't intervene over this small polite gesture. Okay. Sorry for the trouble. Xiao Ying agreed. She didn't want to fight, so she extended her hand apologetically. No problem. Streamer Bro nodded and shook Xiao Ying's hand. He instinctually rubbed it, laughing to himself. A pretty girl's skin really is nice. He spoke as he rubbed her hand with his thumb. Chapter 38. Fight. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 38. Fight. Translator. Aristofaniso editor. Karen_brothers, even though I couldn't chat with the goddess, at least I got to touch her hand. For the next few days, I won't wash my hands. Beneath the heavens Bro held his hand and whispered into his phone. Chu Xian saw his gestures and heard his words. His face turned gloomy. All this time, Xiao Ying had always been his inviolable limit, yet this guy really didn't have any fear or boundaries. Chu Xian couldn't stand it. Chu Xian jumped up and without any hesitation, he punched beneath the heavens right in the face. The streamer Bro screamed painfully as blood spurted out of his nose. Chu Xian walked up and grabbed him by the neck. You're really ing shameless, aren't you? After these words, Chu Xian reached out and mercilessly slapped his face. Everyone was stunned, including Xiao Ying. Chu Xian threw the streamer down and stomped fiercely on his shoulder. Chu Xian's strength was at least equal to that of the average Special Forces soldier, so when he stomped angrily on the streamer, he caused some bone-breaking sounds. Do you want a quick death? You dare to touch my people? Brother Song shouted angrily as he jumped up and charged at Chu Xian. Control your people. Don't let them go around looking for trouble for no reason. Chu Xian pointed accusatorily. Xiao Xian. Xiao Ying cried in panic and pulled on Chu Xian's arms. Don't worry. Chu Xian said to her with a smile, glancing over at beneath the heavens. He didn't have any self-respect and was looking for a beating. F********. You dare hit me. Do you want to die? Streamer Bro said with a contorted expression as he stood up, holding his arm. As he thought about how everyone in the stream saw him get beaten up, he ignored the pain and kicked Chu Xian. Courting death. Chu Xian spat out with a fierce look as he kicked the streamer back, forcing him back in pain. Chu Xian. Stop. What are you doing? What did he do? You're crazy. Zhang Beifeng intervened and blocked Chu Xian's path. What did he do? Chu Xian said with a cold smile. Why don't you call your girlfriend over and let me flirt with her? You. Beifeng's expression changed as he glared angrily. Get lost. Don't stand next to me, Chu Xian said, pushing him away. He turned to Brother Song and the young man next to him and laughed. What? You wanna fight? Don't you know there are Aeon people you can't afford to offend? Brother Song said coldly. Xiao Ying. You need to stop him. What's wrong with him? Why is he hitting people? What did he do? Several girls rushed over. Xiao Ying was silent. Even she believed the streamer had crossed a line, and she was just about to retract her hand when Chu Xian took action. Xiao Xian, let's just go, okay? Xiao Ying said, glancing with worry at Beifeng, Lu Ji and the others. Heh, you think this'll end so easily? Brother Song laughed. You think you can just hit my brother and walk away? I'm going to kill you. Who are you trying to kill? Chu Xian said, intercepting Brother Song's hand as he tried to strangle Chu Xian. Heh, kill this and kill that. Who the F***k do you think you are? Chu Xian, stop. Let go of him. Lu Ji and the others clamored around him. Humph, Chu Xian snorted and pushed Brother Song away. ********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************* as he stumbled backwards. His face reddened with embarrassment. Suddenly, several security guards ran over and yelled. "Stop! What are you doing? Stop right now!" Brother Song didn't want to stir up trouble with the resort, especially considering its backing. He pointed at Chu Xian and threatened him, "Kid, just you wait. I'll show you the consequences of messing with me." "Heh," Chu Xian laughed disdainfully. "Just tell me when. What happened here? Why are you fighting?" a guard asked with a frown at Beneath the Heavens' bruised face and broken arm. "He attacked me. Call the police." Beneath the Heavens held his arm and shouted. The guard looked at Chu Xian and was puzzled for a second. He looked familiar, but he couldn't remember where he had seen him. "Is this true?" the guard asked. "He attacked us for no reason. Nobody did anything. He just attacked us like a psychopath." Bei Feng pointed at Chu Xian. "Heh." Chu Xian laughed at Bei Feng and said mockingly, "You know why I hit him. It doesn't matter what happened, you can't just attack people." "We'll let the police handle this," the guard said. "What's going on?" Manager Wang hurried over in his suit. This position wasn't easy to get, and he cared a lot about his job. As soon as he heard there was a fight, he reported it to Mr. Jean and rushed over immediately. The resort had just opened, and if any bad publicity spread, it could affect all future business. "Manager Wang." The guards greeted him. "Manager, these are the two guests who were fighting." Manager Wang frowned and walked over with an ugly expression. When he saw Chu Xian he paused. Of course he knew Chu Xian, he had dinner with the boss and was even young Master Jin's brother. Mr. Chu. How are you? I didn't know you came over today. Manager Wang greeted him politely. Hee, I came with some friends to hang out but some guys came over and fooled around with my girlfriend. Chu Xian replied. They don't know what's good for them. Manager Wang replied with a nod. Turning to the guards on the side, he said, call the police. These people actually dared to come to our resort and harass women. Such lowlifes. Brother Song was dumbfounded along with Bei Feng and the others who were stunned as well. What the hell? Am I dreaming? They were all dazed, and those who were more familiar with Chu Xian were even more astonished. Manager, our friend was the one who got hurt. Shouldn't you investigate a little before making a judgment? Brother Song spoke with some anger. There's nothing to investigate, a young man said from behind him, flashing a smile at Chu Xian as he walked over. Chapter 39. Stunned. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 39. Stunned. Translator. Aristofaniso editor. Karen_Sir Jean. Manager Wang greeted him. Jean Sen nodded, ignoring Brother Song and the others. He turned towards Chu Xian and said, really, Xiao Xian. You came over without telling me. Huh, I came with my girlfriend. Chu Xian laughed. After the past few conversations, the two men were already close, and Chu Xian didn't pretend to be distant. Oh. Your girlfriend is very beautiful. Jean Sen said after taking a look at Xiao Ying. Hee, it's the classic talented guy and beautiful girl pairing. Chu Xian joked and hugged Xiao Ying's waist. Xiao Sen, I might have caused you some trouble. Not at all, not at all. Bro, at my place, I take care of everything. Jean Sen patted Chu Xian's shoulder before turning to look at Brother Song, Bei Feng and the others. Sir Jean, this guy harassed young Master Chu's girlfriend. Manager Wang whispered into Jean Sen's ear. Jean Sen frowned and turned to the guards. Get the police to take him away. Reckless idiots making trouble at our Gold Dragon Resort. From start to finish, Jean Sen paid no mind to Brother Song and the others. The ignored posse didn't dare to speak as they stared in fear and amazement at Jean Sr. Please follow us out. The guards came over to take them away. Young Master Jean. We're sorry, it was all our fault. Brother Song bit the bullet, bowed his head and apologized. Bei Feng and Lu Ji followed him with unpleasant expressions. Ha! Jean Sen laughed coldly. You think you can mess with my friend? Get out. Yes, yes. Brother Song nodded quickly before turning and walking away quickly. Bei Feng and the others lowered their heads and followed closely behind. As for Beneath the Heavens, he was taken away by the guards and kept in jail for a couple days. His popularity took a big hit. Strong. Young Master Jean is so dignified. Chu Xian joked with Jean Sen as the Bei Feng's group scurried away with their tails tucked between their legs. Don't exaggerate. They're just scared of our Gold Dragon group, Jean Sen said with a smile. Xiao Xian, let me treat you and your girlfriend to dinner. Maybe next time, Chu Xian replied. I have plans tonight. No problem. I won't take up your precious time with your girlfriend anymore. You guys have fun. I'm taking off first. Jean Sen left with a wave. Xiao Ying hurriedly waved back while Chu Xian nodded and laughed in reply. Turning back to the group, Chu Xian's lips curled with contempt as he looked at the stunned faces of Xiao Ying's classmates. Turning to the astonished Xiao Ying, he patted her head and said, I planned on giving you a surprise, but I guess just one sentence will do. Your husband is rich. Xiao Ying opened her mouth slightly before a beautiful smile filled her face. Of course. I knew all along that the man I chose is the best. Haha, of course. Xiao Ying's taste is the best. Chu Xian laughed and praised himself. Do you want to stay? If you want to go, your husband will take you out to buy some stuff. Xiao Ying looked at her classmates and her expression darkened. She shook her head and said, let's just go. Jing Wen, see you, Shan, I'm leaving first. You girls have fun. Heh, go. Go. Jin Wen and the others waved her off awkwardly, looking over Chu Xian with mixed expressions. Chu Xian took Xiao Ying to the Land Rover 4S store. It had been almost 24 hours since he turned his car in, so it should be fixed by now. You bought this? Xiao Ying said with a gasp as the employees drove out the luxury Range Rover. Haha, of course. Chu Xian gave a proud nod. Let's go, princess. Your knight is making the big bucks now, By the way, the goldfish and koi at the entrance of the resort were all mine. 4 million RMB. Chu Xian, you. Xiao Ying said to herself. She suddenly felt like her boyfriend had turned into a different person. Babe, don't think too much about it. Just be happy. I'm still your Xiao Xian, and I'm also your future husband, too. Chu Xian kissed her before driving the car to a mall in the city center. Chu Xian held Xiao Ying's hand as they wandered around the mall, buying almost everything they could think of. They walked away with a new iPhone, a computer, a camera, an LV handbag, a watch, and some clothes. As they walked, Xiao Ying panicked a little and tried to convince Chu Xian to stop wasting money, but he ignored her. He thought if he didn't spend money on her, who would he spend it on? Finally, Xiao Ying gave in and was very happy, but she also felt bad about Chu Xian carrying all the bags for her. Her heart was full of joy. We can come back again tomorrow. Chu Xian said with a smile as they sat inside a restaurant. Xiao Ying nodded shyly. Chu Xian found a hotel and led Xiao Ying into a room. He tried out some new positions that made her all hot and bothered, and he didn't stop for the next couple of hours. The next day, Chu Xian brought Xiao Ying back to her dorm. She got off the car and looked at all the bags speechlessly before finally saying, wait for me. I'll have to make a couple trips to bring everything in. I'll wait. You go. Chu Xian patted her head, looking over the bags that filled the car. Xiao Ying replied, tiptoeing and kissing him on the cheek. She grabbed the computer, camera and makeup products first. Pang! Xiao Ying pushed the door open with a bang and yelled happily, sisters, I'm back. Goddess Xiao Ying is back. Were you satisfied last night? See you and the others teased her from where they lay on their beds, playing with their phones. Xiao Ying felt at ease with their words. The last thing she wanted was for them to turn awkward after being close friends all these years. Hee, who told you not to get your own boyfriends? Come, you beauties, I have some stuff for all of you. Makeup. See you turned around and saw all the things Xiao Ying was carrying. Her eyes glimmered and she jumped out from underneath her blanket. Me, 3, Xiao Ying, you're rich. CU's exclamation attracted the attention of the other two girls, and they all clamored over to see. iPhone, MacBook, Sony camera, Dior makeup. Wow, the girls exclaimed, looking at Xiao Ying with jealous expressions. Stop making such a big fuss. Xiao Ying said with a smile, handing over the makeup. These are for you. I didn't bring everything up, so I have to go downstairs again. Wait, we'll come down with you. The girls quickly changed out of their pajamas and followed Xiao Ying down. They followed behind her and said, hey, we know we underestimated Chu Xian and talked about him behind his back. You won't blame us, will you? How could I? I know you did it all to help me. Xiao Ying said with a smile. You know, everybody knows your boyfriend has become successful. Did you know the young man he was talking to was the Prince of Gold Dragon Group, the son of the president? He's at the jealous exclamations of her friends. Xiao Ying smiled with pride. Translator's thoughts Aristofaniso, 1, lit. They didn't dare to fart. LOL, 2, does this count as a proposal? Does he have to buy her a ring now, or can you just say sh*t like this? 3, huh, so lit. Which I think is supposed to be an exclamation of, if **** at a stud. Chapter 40. Renovation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 40. Renovation. Translator Aristofaniso. Editor. Karen _ the girls came down and were stunned by the fancy Land Rover parked by the roadside. All of them looked on awkwardly at the young man leaning against the hood of the car. Thanks for helping, Chu Xian offered, in an attempt to alleviate the awkward atmosphere. No need. Actually, we owe you an apology. Every day you've been bringing us breakfast when you bring things for Xiao Ying, and we don't mention it. Let bygones be bygones, Chu Xian remarked. He took out some more bags from the car and handed them over to Xiao Ying. Siyu and the others looked on jealously at the LV bags and the Channel clothes. They never imagined that this loser of an upperclassman could turn out so well. Xiao Ying waved goodbye as the girls came over and divvied up the bags. Chu Xian smiled to himself as he watched them go upstairs. This feeling was much better than showing off or face slapping. Chu Xian sat back in the car and pondered what to do next. He eventually decided on driving over to a realtor agency nearby. After looking through several of the homes available, he chose a 3-bedroom place near Haiqing Standard University. He decided to just rent instead of buying the place outright. Of the 4 million he'd earned, Chu Xian spent 2 million on the car, 700,000 on the fish farm, and a couple $100,000 on stuff for Xiao Ying. Together with his leveling expenses, he had a little more than $1 million remaining. He had some plans for this money, so he couldn't spend too much of it. After settling 3 months' rent, Chu Xian went out to buy some living essentials. As for his old mat and blanket, all in the dumpster. After arranging everything in his new place, Chu Xian hopped back into his car and drove over to the Feng Tai Fish Farms. When he finally reached his farm, Chu Xian looked around and inspected the place carefully. He looked around and made some approximations, and after some consideration, took out his phone and made a call. Zhao Kuazi had given him a number for a renovation company and said this was a reliable contact in case Chu Xian wanted to do some refurbishing. Soon, a middle-aged man from the renovation company arrived at the fish farm. Hello, sir. Are you the one who called our company? The middle-aged man asked politely, extending a handshake. Yes. I made the call, Chu Xian replied, taking his hand. I want to do some renovations. Maybe you can help me out. Of course. Not a problem. Our company is very experienced in designing fish farms and shop interiors. Just tell us if you have a specific request and we can draw up a model for you to look at, the man said confidently. Sure. I'll have to trouble you then, Chu Xian said with a nod and lead the man further into the farm. Firstly, I want to fence off this place. It'd be best if you can block it off with some opaque glass. Then I want to fill up the front half of the pool near the entrance and divide the back part into 4 pools. No problem. The man replied. Although Chu Xian's requests were a little odd, there was no trouble in completing everything he asked. This is just for the basic framework. I also want you to separate the front and back halves with some good material and install a door in the middle. Then we can put up some boards and change the front half into a store. Are you familiar with high-class ornamental fish shops? I want that style, and when we're done, I want to install a couple large fish tanks, okay. Let me open up my computer and I'll get a model for you to look at, the man said with a nod as Chu Xian added weird request after weird request. He opened up his laptop and started fiddling around. Okay, Chu Xian replied and repeated his plans to the middle-aged man. I want the best. Money isn't a problem, but you have to guarantee top quality stuff, Chu Xian emphasized. Of course, the man replied, nodding. Sir, you can relax. We'll deliver the model to you tomorrow and we can go from there. Okay. Right, by the way, can you knock down this house and put up a new one? Chu Xian asked, pointing at Zhao Kuo-zi's old living quarters. The house was small and dilapidated, and the interior was quite small. No problem. We'll get some workers to come in and we can build a new one according to your specifications, the man replied quickly. He already identified Chu Xian as a wealthy second-generation who was lavish and generous with his money. Why else would anyone renovate a fish farm so fancily? How long will it take? Chu Xian asked. Around 10 days, but we can guarantee top-notch quality. You'll definitely be satisfied, the man replied. Okay, Chu Xian replied. 10 days wasn't too long. After the man left, Chu Xian looked over his farm again as he imagined what it would look like after all the renovations were finished. He smiled. As he walked around looking at some of the other fish farms in the area, he saw many kinds of fish. There were the common flounders and large yellow croakers, Cynoglossus semilaevis gunters, perches, crabs, jellyfish, Cyanops ocellatus, etc. All kinds of seafood, and they definitely weren't cheap. Some of the workers were feeding fish, and some were netting fish. Chu Xian walked around Feng Tai Lake by himself, exploring the place. The lake was very large, and it was separated into many regions by all kinds of netting. These regions were used to raise fish. Farming seafood in the lake was completely different from raising them in an artificial pond. The environment here was much closer to the natural living environment, and both the quality of the taste and the pricing was much higher than any pond. Raised fish. After every harvest, there would be at least a couple hundred tons of fish caught and sold from here. The profits were huge. When will I be able to own my farm? Chu Xian thought to himself, looking out at the huge lake with an expectant gaze. After wandering about for a little while more, Chu Xian got into his car and drove to the fish market. Once there, he bought around 300 or 400 goldfish and went back to his small shop. For the next few days, Chu Xian stayed in his shop remolding all the goldfish. During this period, his fish farm was also renovated. In the meantime, Chu Xian kept posting all sorts of goldfish photos and videos on the Fast Hands app, and although he wasn't planning on selling any for the next week or so, he wasn't planning to stop earning money. He created an order form. Online customers could reserve the quantity and type of goldfish they wanted, and he would ship their orders as soon as he got the fish. The method was effective and created the sense that the product was rare and in demand, so you needed to act fast to get it. The results were pretty good, and after a couple days, he'd already gotten 8 orders, each of them were for at least 4 goldfish. After the week passed, Chu Xian opened his shop for business, and he posted on both his Fast Hands page and his WeChat Moments. Open for business.